Do you know what you are supposed to have saved in the bank right now? Like, is it enough? Is it too little? What does enough even mean?
Today we're breaking it all down. We're talking about saving, how much you should have at every stage of your life, from your 20s all the way to your 60s. And trust me, even if you're just 13 or 14, this stuff is going to matter to you sooner than you think. Let's get into it. First off, the big picture here is saving money is basically like packing for a really, really long road trip. If you wait until the last minute to pack, you're going to forget stuff. But if you start early and pack a little at a time, you're golden. Experts at a company called Fidelity Investments, one of the biggest financial companies in America, came up with a simple rule to follow. Here's how it works. By the time you turn 30, you should have saved 1 times your annual salary. By 40, you want 3 times your salary. By 50, shoot for 6 times your salary. And by 60, the goal is 8 times your salary. So if someone makes $100,000 a year, by age 60, they'd want to have $800,000 saved. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But that's what makes starting early so important. Your 20s build the foundation. Your 20s are not about being rich. They're about not being broke later. The average person in this age group brings home around $85,000 a year after taxes, and they're spending about $4,760 every single month just on the basics. Housing, food, transportation, all of it. So what should you have saved? Retirement goal, about $85,000, which is basically 1 year's salary. Emergency fund, between $18,000 and $36,000. Every dollar you save and invest in your 20s has roughly 40 years to grow before you retire. That same dollar saved in your 40s, only 20 years. Time is literally the most powerful financial tool you have right now, and most people waste it. So what should you actually be doing? First, stop carrying credit card debt. The interest rates on credit cards are brutal. We're talking 20% or more. No investment is going to reliably beat that. Paying off that debt is the single best financial move a young person can make. Second, start an emergency fund, even a small one. The goal is to have at least 1 month of your basic expenses saved somewhere you can actually access it. This is your financial cushion. It's what stops one bad week from turning into years of debt. Third, and this is the big one, open an investment account and put something in it. Even $25, even $10. The amount doesn't matter nearly as much as the habit. Getting started is everything. Your 30s. Start getting serious. By your 30s, life gets more real. Maybe you've got rent, a car payment, maybe even a family. Your expenses are bigger, but hopefully so is your income. The average person in this group makes about $109,000 a year and spends around $5,792 per month. By your 30s, the savings targets jump up. Retirement goal, around $327,000. That's 3 times your salary. Emergency fund, between $23,000 and $45,000. This is a decade where the gap between people who are financially intentional and people who aren't really starts to show. And that gap is mostly explained by one thing: lifestyle inflation. When your paycheck goes up, it's really tempting to just spend more. Nicer apartment, newer car, more restaurants. Before you know it, you're making twice what you made at 22 and somehow saving less. The antidote here is that every time your income increases, make sure your savings rate increases too. Not by the same amount, but it should go up. A solid target for your 30s is to be saving and investing somewhere between 15 and 20% of your income consistently. That's the range where compounding growth actually starts to feel real. Also, if your employer offers any kind of retirement match, take every single penny of it. That is free money. There is no other investment in the world that gives you an instant 50 or 100% return the moment you put money in. Your 40s, your highest earning years. The average income here is about $116,000 a year, and monthly spending climbs to about $6,063. Here's where you want to be. Retirement goal, around $694,000, 6 times your salary. Emergency fund, between $24,000 and $49,000. For most people, your 40s are when you're making the most money you've ever made. which is great, but it's also when life tends to be the most expensive. Kids, mortgage, aging parents, all of it hitting at once. Stop just accumulating money and start thinking about what you're actually building toward. Retirement isn't some abstract thing anymore. It's maybe 20 or 25 years away. That's close enough to plan for seriously. Max out your retirement accounts if you can. Meet with a financial advisor or tax professional to make sure you're not leaving deductions on the table. And start having real conversations about the future. What kind of retirement do you actually want? Where will you live? What will healthcare cost? The people who retire comfortably aren't necessarily the ones who made the most money. They're the ones who were intentional about it during this decade. Your 50s protect what you've built. In your 50s, average income in this group is about $97,000 a year. Savings goals, retirement goal, around $778,000, 8 times your salary. Emergency fund, between $21,000 and $42,000. Here are the strategy shifts. Up until now, you've been in growth mode, taking on some risk, riding out market ups and downs, building wealth. Now it's time to start thinking about protecting it. That doesn't mean pulling everything out of the stock market. It means gradually rebalancing your portfolio toward things that are a little more stable, so that if the market takes a hit right before you retire, it doesn't wipe out years of progress. This is also the decade to get crystal clear on your retirement number. Not a rough guess, an actual plan. How much do you need to cover your expenses every year in retirement? How long might that retirement last? What does healthcare look like? These are questions worth sitting down and working through carefully, ideally with a professional who does this for a living. One more thing. In your 50s, the government actually lets you contribute extra money to retirement accounts to help you catch up if you need to. Take advantage of that. Your 60s, the home stretch. By the time you hit your 60s, retirement is close, and the goal now is simple. Make sure the money you've saved can actually last. The biggest risk most retirees face isn't losing money in the market, it's outliving their savings. People are living longer than ever, which means your retirement could last 25 or even 30 years. Your money needs a plan for that. Review your investment mix. Understand exactly where your income is going to come from once you stop working. Social security, pensions, investment withdrawals, all of it. And make sure you have a clear picture of your healthcare cost, because those tend to rise significantly as you get older. Retirement isn't the finish line, it's the start of a whole new chapter. And it deserves just as much planning as everything that came before it. Saving money isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Start building your emergency fund first, then focus on retirement. Know your targets by age. Automate your savings, and most importantly, start now, no matter how small. The earlier you start, the less you actually have to save each month to hit those big goals. That's the magic of time. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe. We break down money stuff like this all the time in a way that actually makes sense. See you in the next one. See you